Welcome to UC Today with me, David Dungay. In today's conversation, I'm going to be speaking to Jamie Hughes from Evolve IP. Welcome to the show, Jamie. How are you?
Hi, David. Hi, everyone. I'm really well, thank you. Looking forward to this session.
Great. Well, we're going to be talking about some of the changing needs of customers in today's business environment. But before we get into that conversation, Jamie, can you give us a bit of a rundown of yourself and Evolve IP?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a European partner manager, so I look after the European partners for Evolve. Evolve, if you don't know of Evolve, we used to be formerly called the Voice Factory, been operating for 10 so years, UK based with a US headquarters. But we're a service provider, channel only service provider, dealing with channel partners across UK, Europe, and further afield.
Great. Well, look, Jamie, we've had a bit of a challenging sort of 18 months or so. I mean, everyone's had a challenging 18 months, I think. How has Evolve IP sort of adapted during this time?
So, before COVID, actually, our office got flooded. So we already had people working from home, which was obviously ideal. Not ideal for the office, but so we were already kind of adapting that work from home policy. But the nice thing about our setup is we've got a unique licensing model. So where you're only consuming the licenses for the individual's needs. So whether someone's a desk phone user, a soft phone user, they want to go down a Teams route, they can flip and change as much as they want to. So what we actually saw was the flexibility of moving from a office environment to what still today is a work from home, kind of a hybrid environment. People have been migrating over their licenses, not changing the technology that they're using alongside it, but changing the licensing model to reflect the type of users that are in their business. Because we all see people want a desk phone, some people want a desk phone, some people want a soft phone for the maneuverability, and some people want both. So some people go down Teams route. So we're agnostic. That's what we kind of say. We're agnostic to the technology that someone wants to use. But ultimately, it's still the same platform. It's one platform that's overarching all the solutions, and it's just licensing. So we've seen a big drive moving away from desk phone over to soft phone, Teams, and then also locations. So we're seeing that a lot of people actually, they used to be home based, so going into the office, they'll be on a train for 2 hours, 3 hours going into where they go. But now people are, obviously can work from anywhere. So we're used to see that we have recruiters, recruitment firms. They have native speaking people in London, but they don't need that anymore. They've got people in France or Czech Republic or Slovakia, or wherever they are, staying at home, but they're still part of one team, one company, one solution.
Yeah. So working anywhere, obviously a humongous theme that we've seen here at UC Today over the last sort of year or two. You mentioned a few cases there of, what your customers are looking for, but what have you noticed most about, what your customers are sort of demanding today?
It's ultimately our partners, it's our channels, customers. But what we do see is that they want one provider. So where you would historically want a customer doesn't want all of their services with one provider or their eggs in one basket, we're actually seeing where people do, because they're a lot more connected than they used to be. So you've got your connectivity, you've got your hosted services, you've got your IT maybe for the Teams piece as well. You've got your cyber, because obviously people are working from home. So they're a lot more connected. So what we're seeing is actually the partners have to be a lot more diverse in the solutions that they're offering. Otherwise, they're getting eaten up. So a lot of these providers that offer just connectivity and voice, they're just getting eaten up. So from our side, we're seeing a lot around the soft phone applications. We're also seeing a lot where people want those visibility on what service, what calls and people are taking, but also the calls that they're not taking potentially. So if they're missing calls, then what's the impact on that business and why are they taking that? Is that because they're being a bit too, They may be being too kind of naive in the sense that the business can't monitor what they're doing because they're at home. And then there's also being more efficient as well. So we're seeing a drive around more efficient around presence. So how to integrate your presence across multiple platforms into one platform. So you've got a kind of a single pane of glass around what people are doing. So we've seen a lot of that around kind of call monitoring and also presence and optimization with the business with their tools.
Yeah, I mean the communications today, it really is a bit of a not just an evolution, almost a revolution. I think in a lot of ways, which is fantastic to see from a market perspective. When it comes to your channels customers, I should say, and what they're concerned about in their communication stack. I mean, where is that focus? Is it just on the analytics piece, or where are they most concerned when it comes to the whole stack?
I think one of the big things is a lot of our partners actually, they utilize other technologies. So, for example, they may utilize a CCaaS provider. So I'll name Five9 as an example. So there's a few of our partners that have partnered with them, and they are their go-to-market in terms of strategy for CCaaS. So what we've done is we've done an interconnect into Five9, and we're effectively the back office solution for it. So what we're seeing again for the partners is that they've got their own ecosystem and they want to integrate with it as well. And we've got our own contact center solution. We've got a voice only solution as well. But the channel are making their own decisions around actually we're going to lead with this product. And obviously more strings to your bow gets you more into more doors. And that's where we're actually seeing quite a lot of growth, especially in the last 6 months, is the contact center piece. People are looking at the work from home. I need a contact center solution. I potentially want to work with Teams because that is their voice collaboration tool. And we can do that. So we've been quite flexible in the sense of, right, if you've got a solution that you're currently utilizing today, and it goes very well into your existing customers or prospects, then how can we talk about it? And that's historically what we've done really well. So we've done really well in the hospitality space, because what we've done is we've gone, what's the ecosystem within a hotel? What's the ecosystem within a car dealership? And how can we make it work? So, and it's all about integrating into different softwares, different services. And that's what makes our partners kind of stand out from a lot of the other providers out there that are basically doing generic solutions.
Yeah, it's differentiation is so important in this market. People can buy solutions from lots of different places. But so tell me a little bit more about that. How is Evolve IP supporting those customers and partners to really help your channel and your end customers really stand out from the competition?
So it's all around kind of their strategy. So what are they looking to achieve? And some people may not know. Some people may go, we want to grow by this, or we want to do that. What we're finding is actually we're going into quite a number of greyfield areas where actually it's really quite complex. So we've got a couple of deployments at the moment. Actually, one was fulfilled in April, where it's delivering a global solution that may not necessarily have a carrier connection into. So, for example, Cairo, we had a solution that was deployed into 1,600 users across 14 countries. And it was all the countries that you would think, hang on a minute, how's that possible? It was like Cairo, it's like Jakarta, Manila, Saudi. It's all the countries that actually China, they make it really difficult to do business in that country. They block VoIP traffic, as an example. So how do we come around those? And it's around sitting around a table and going, actually, where is your customers today? Where are they growing? What do they want to do in terms of technology? And just sitting down and going, actually, this is what we've done elsewhere, and this is what we can do with yourselves. And that's what really opens up doors. And we've just, at the moment, we've got our largest deployment being rolled out at the moment, which is 8,000 to 9,000 users across 20 odd countries. And that was all around what service they wanted to work with. That was Teams. what countries are they currently operating. And the customer's end goal was they wanted one provider. So they wanted one provider for their voice traffic everywhere. So, and we were up against some big providers with them, and we came up trumps because it was the relationship, it was the technology, and we had other deployments that we could reference as well, which we've done a similar solution for.
You mentioned moments ago some of your verticalized expertise, and particularly around the hospitality sector. We are seeing a lot of out of the box solutions, available for channel at the moment. I guess more generally, is that becoming a bit of a challenge for partners to add their own value around these propositions going forwards?
I see it a bit differently. So, and it's one of the things that we're very much a tailored approach, and that keeps it more interesting from our point of view, but also from the salesperson's interaction with the customer. So, rather than these kind of generic solutions where they say, right, how many people are in your organization? Well, that's 40. Right, that's 40 licenses. Well, they don't know anything about their business. They don't know how many meeting rooms they've got, how many door entry systems, fax machines, tannoys for the factory, whether they want a team solution, a soft phone, a handset, a mixture of both, whether they've got any analog lines. There's so much questions that come out of that, and that's just around the endpoint. So what we find is actually it's more engaging to go, right, actually, we're going to tailor a solution around you. Because end of the day, it's a bit like buying a car. You can buy a car that's got no extras, or you can buy a car with extras. But unless you tell people about those extras, your customers are just going to buy the same product every time. So it's a lot more tailored, and then you go into the detail around the value-add solutions around it. And what we typically find is actually the more tailored approach, the cheaper you are against those generic, more cost-effective against those generic providers. That's what we generally see. So it's more engaging, it's more profitable from the reseller point of view, and the customer wins as well because they've had a more engaging sales experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, look, Jamie, we've seen a lot of change over the last 18 months. We're predicting we're going to see a lot more change as well over the coming year or two. But where do you see the biggest changes and evolution in the market over the next sort of year or two?
So I think there's a lot of customers that are still on that path from PBX over to hosted. We're still scratching the surface, and Teams has helped that. One of the things that we're seeing quite a lot of is not everyone wants to go down to team strategy. Some people actually don't want to go down team strategy. So we've been, say, quite agnostic earlier on, where if someone's not in a team strategy, we've got an alternative. But we actually don't want to push down the alternative because the WebEx piece should actually be a primary solution rather than a secondary solution to Teams. Because WebEx is actually from our point of view, a better product in terms of experience. It's a messaging tool, it's a meeting tool. The voice quality on a WebEx, and also the integrations into things like Word, things into SharePoint, is a lot greater than Teams. And also we could do our ecosystem as well, so the ecosystem around that integration. But I think we're going to see a lot more integration requests coming through. We do one for CRM systems probably every 2 to 3 weeks. There's also, I say, about the contact center side of things. I think also we'll see the world becoming a bit closer because there's a lot of businesses that deal or have operations in the UK, in Europe, and further afield. And there's also, which we see on UC Today every week, there's a lot of mergers. There's a lot of mergers and acquisitions going on as well. So I think the world's going to become a lot smaller. There's going to be a lot more businesses that actually take advantage of the market and buy businesses. And what we'll hopefully see is our average seats going from 70 to maybe 100. So because the businesses are all growing with the opportunity.
Absolutely right. I mean, the global we're working a global talent pool now, aren't we? With technology, yeah. which is fantastic and exciting for businesses going forwards. Look, Jamie, I think it's a great place to end today's discussion. Thank you so much for joining me.
No, thank you. Thanks very much, everyone.
And thank you for watching. You've been watching me, David Dungay, on UC Today. If you like today's discussion, please give us a like and a share on social media. That's it from me. I'll see you next time.